Hi Leos, and welcome to your April 2020 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to talk to you about some of the energies coming in for your sign this month. So, you got some volatility coming in here, and I did notice that coming in last month too. Last month was a bit of a controversial reading for sure. It really resonated for some. Some people were kind of upset about that, so you might go back and check it out and see if it's ringing true at this point in time. But yeah, the Leos who, were able to get themselves together and able to see their own true wants and their own true desires, and were able to follow through on that and treat others with kindness and treat others with integrity, are really seeing a fortunate time of temperance during the month of April, and really seeing a nice, turn in favor, like becoming very favorable, becoming very, just very real, and becoming very right and just in their paths, and it's like they're not betrayed here. There are some Leos that are having to work really hard this month though, and a lot of us are having to work really hard as we see a big change in lifestyle. Leo is a fixed fire sign. We are in the cardinal fire energy of Aries during the month of April, which sometimes does require us to just kind of burn it all away, burn away all of the excess, so start completely over from scratch. All of these old attachments kind of finally leaving us with the cardinal Aries energy. And I feel that that is one of the most important things for a Leo to start out with in the month of April, is to really burn a few things off, to really let go of a few things, and maybe even get rid of a few things in their lives. I think that it's important to pull back on financial commitments if it's possible, recurring subscriptions, things that are not necessary, refinancing loans, pulling out of certain market investments perhaps. That's not for everybody. I'm not a financial advisor, but I do feel that you guys want to leverage yourself less during the month of April. You guys have 8 of Swords reversed, 5 of Pentacles reversed, 9 of Wands reversed. You're completely seeing through the way that your energy is being used, or the way that your resources are being used. Also having 10 of Wands as well, you're having to maybe do a lot more work, and it's not bad for you. It's maybe helping your blood to circulate better or something, and it's like there's a lot of like things in your mind just really clearing up, like really operating with a much clearer mind, really operating with a much clearer focus. I feel like your focus this month, Leo, is like laser point focus, to be able to complete a task, or to be able to just understand so clearly how you need or want to move forward. And you are really tasked with the challenge to make that happen here. Temperance and the Wheel of Fortune and Knight of Wands together upright as a foundational energy for you is really reassuring to me. It says that you are really, so depending on the Leo, this will come through for different Leos, but if you've really been confident, and say you've really been, that bigger than life Leo, really confident, really glamorous, really beautiful, you're going to kind of lower that down a little bit here. And there could be a little bit of like a wake-up call where maybe you've run out of face cream, or you've run out of or like your flat iron or your curling iron stops working, and we have to go all natural, or that could come in the distant future. And that's going to be an interesting time where it's like maybe by running out of face cream, your skin finally clears up, or by not having access to the iron anymore, your hair shines more magnificently than it ever has. There's an interesting thing with Leo here, like through loss or through something that could be like a really big, huge deal for you. Like, oh my gosh, I've run out of face cream. I've used this face cream for 10 years. It's really causing me anxiety to think about not having it. Through that sense of demise, you have a wonderful new leaf and a wonderful sort of like a reassurance from the universe. It's like, it's time for your skin and your hair to breathe, basically. There is something about the skin, I will say, coming in. Temperance energy. It's not necessarily in the tarot, but I feel like you're becoming comfortable in your skin in the month of April. Your skin is healing. If you've had like psoriasis or acne, or even like even skin cancer or something, it's like maybe you've had treatments and it's finally going away, or it's finally subsiding. That's not going to be for everybody, but something relating to the skin is going to become better through your actions this month. Because what I am kind of feeling for probably like 95% of Leos, so a lot of Leos, only a few Leos have not succumbed to this, is basically the perils of mass marketing. You need this face cream in order for your skin to look nice. You need this product or this expensive thing to give yourself that shiny, glamorous, natural Leo thing that you're automatically entitled to with your sign. So there's going to be a lot of like seeing that it was never necessary, a lot of money to be saved here. Actually, it's like, okay, the face cream's out of stock, I just saved $200, and it's almost like there's so much more available for you this month, because last month, again, it was kind of a controversial reading. It upset quite a few people. We dealt a lot with negative ego implications, which is so natural for Leo during a year where there's so much like Capricorn to Aquarius energy. That's where the sign Leo deals with its ego, is during those phases. So it was just natural, and it wasn't personal. It was just kind of like what a lot of Leos were going through. And here in April, you'll have sort of the first installment of that and the first result of how you worked with that. So if you were able to really see who you truly are versus what marketing or advertisements or whatever tells you that you are, here is a reward, and here is a fortunate time of temperance where you sort of see your life in quite a different way. And within that, there is like a true release and a true feeling of purging out something that was gross within. So yeah, a great month for a detox, okay? Again, through not using the face cream, it's almost like you naturally detox or something. Or maybe through not even perhaps taking some of those substantial vitamins that were for like the hair, skin, and nails or something, that maybe had something radical or toxic in it, you are becoming much healthier. So unavailability leads to health for Leos this month. It's very interesting, and I'm really happy about it. One more thing to talk about before we get into the week-to-week spread. For Leos, I feel that there's going to be something about your own sense of value should really get a lot better here. So Saturn just went into Aquarius, which is indeed your opposite sign. So especially if you're a Cancer-Leo cusp, you are having a Saturn opposite your sun right now, and that is always a really, really interesting time, and it can be really different for different people. It's kind of like what we've been talking about. It's either like a super, super rewarding time, or it can be a time of existential crisis too, where there are many heavy aspects of your life conglomerated through many different sectors, sort of begging for consolidation and begging for transmutation. So yeah, I think that every single Leo in the month of April has something really tough to deal with and get in order, as well as some incredible rewards and benefits to reap as well. So it's kind of volatile, yes, but it's through this month of April, Leo, that you really set your momentum for a long time, because in May we'll have Saturn go retrograde and it'll go back into Capricorn. So this month of April is the only full month of having Saturn in your opposite sign before it goes back. So there's a great time for a redo here too. A great time, if maybe Saturn in Capricorn didn't lead you to get a lot of your affairs in order, or a lot of the paperwork in order, or a lot of the taxes and legalities in order. What an awesome time to pay back taxes, or an awesome time to refinance or negotiate some type of loan or something. That's very Saturn in Capricorn. And Saturn moving into Aquarius introduces new opportunities and creative solutions temporarily before it moves back retrograde into Capricorn. So it is a great time to focus on those types of things, because it really frees you up and it makes you a lot more light in your energy. Anyway, Leo, let's go ahead and talk about your week to week. There will be an extended reading on Patreon, which I will link below if you would like to support this content and get extended readings, T-chats, and early access to the YouTube videos. So week number 1, Leo's 8 of Swords reversed, rooted down by 5 of Pentacles reversed. Toughest week of the month, and that's okay. Might as well get it out of the way. I feel that people will call on you, and I feel that people will struggle more than you, who are related to you or connected to you, and they'll kind of want to bring you along for the ride. So they'll say, okay, the road that I'm walking down is really cold. I would rather have you walk with me so that it's more comfortable. And it might be hard to resist those people. In fact, you might even see that someone from your past, or someone who maybe you really wanted closure with, or you really wanted to see a change with, that type of person might come in and say, yeah, well, I'm gonna open the door again, but I'm having a hard time, and I just kind of need someone, and you can fill that role for me. Watch out for filling the roles of other people, and it's not about you; it's just about the role being filled. That's something that you can deal with Saturn opposite your sign, because there's something about that traps you. No reason to get trapped in a role that is not about you. It's about filling it in the first week. So do watch out for that. Also, as per the usual with Five of Pentacles reversed, watch out for expenditures. Watch out for big purchases. Anything that's an impulse buy is a no-no during that time. Although some Leos could really get a good deal on something, like 0% financing or something, or a great deal on a house because someone is in need of cash. Like, that's totally possible. A bargain is possible. But you want to make sure that that's appropriate. Like, are you going to be filling the role of that car company that was desperate to sell, or that person who was desperate to sell their house? Are you going to be filling that new vacant role by attacking a bargain like this? If you're not, it's a great chance. But if there's any part of you that thinks that this could make your time a lot more difficult with paying it back, or for you to not have much to go off of, I would avoid it. Week number 2, Leos, you have 10 of Wands rooted down by Knight of Wands. So great creative energy coming in there. It's hard for creative energy to really pan out if we're really absorbed in 10 different things. If you've got all the different jobs to do, you might want to loosen your burden a little bit during the second week of April, because maybe things are just a little bit tired there and burned out. So where's the burnout coming from, Leo? What a great time with the quarantines and social distancing to really get ahead of burnout and to really understand why you got burned out, and can you do this forever if things go back to normal? Can you keep on? Are you inspired by what you're doing? This is a wonderful, wonderful chance here in Aries season, right in the middle of it there, to find true motivation and inspiration, and to really discover something promising that you're meant for, something that gives you a lot of security when it comes to your own creative force. So life force, creative force need to be prioritized during the second week. So watch out for having too many duties or necessities that aren't really necessities, but are like debts to other people or something. Watch out for that. Week number 3, you guys have Justice reversed, rooted down by Temperance. So you actually will see there's this interesting chance in the third week of April for you guys to just figure things out and let things come the easy way. A harsh punishment or like a judgment of some kind that might have taken you or might have been given to you during the third week under normal societal standards might just sort of pass by you due to the difficulties that we're facing, and that it's an opportunity for you to accept something or accept some amount of responsibility in something as well, that helps you to karmically bypass maybe a difficult consequence. So there's something about consequences coming in the third week, and specifically that you can maybe make the first step in helping someone else or offering an act of kindness that will really offset some of the difficulty that you might have to endure. Although I will say it's really important to not get too cocksure with that energy, not to think like, okay, now I can just do things that are not integrity based because I can get away with it. There can sort of be that energy sometimes. I'm not saying that Leos are that way, but basically you get a great chance in the third week to just exhale and be past a story that maybe had like a lot more momentum behind it. It's kind of hard to explain, but I think you guys get me. Also for the third week, as a separate message, great time to get your body in order to heal. Again, I'm feeling so strongly that April is a very health-based month for you all, and I'm feeling very strongly that April is a very connective point in rebuilding your fascia or rebuilding your connective tissue or something. So yeah, it's just a very, again, karmic time for piecing things back together. And that's actually teaching me about the previous message that I was just saying. So it's not about avoiding a consequence, actually. That's not it at all. So let me correct that. It's not about avoiding a consequence. It's about piecing together the connecting points that led to a certain story or a certain journey becoming consequential. And it's like we didn't see that momentum. So by piecing it together, we understand what the momentum was, and we can harness it more, and we can perhaps even accept where we went wrong, and maybe even be quite open about that, and truly taking that first step versus being like running away from it or avoiding it, and not looking at where the momentum was, is what helps you to stay light. I hope that that makes sense. It's quite complex, but yeah, the third week is very essential in your timeline for sure. Okay, Leos, week number 4, you guys have Nine of Wands reversed, rooted down by the Wheel of Fortune. So I like that energy, because what that says to me is that you are not pushing yourself, for any cause, or you're not saying, okay, no matter what, I'm going to push myself to do this, or I'm going to push myself to do that, and I'm going to accomplish that goal, and I'm going to get through this progression no matter what. You are drawing a line, and you're getting a new sense of boundaries, which is what I love about Saturn and Aquarius for you, is you're getting new boundaries and growing a new, more responsible line that you draw in certain situations, and that is bringing you nothing but fortune. You have the Wheel of Fortune upright, rooting that down. So it's almost like the less you do, the more you get rewarded, okay? The less you try to manipulate things. And when I say manipulate, I don't mean in a bad way, but I just mean like change things, or like get your hands into things and change it. The less that you try to do that, the more reward that you get, I feel. So there's some degree of hard work. You've got 10 of Wands, you've got 5 of Pentacles, you've got 9 of Wands. So you are maybe having to like get your house in order to be at home more, and that's a lot of work. Or and again, maybe some of you are still working, and maybe your job becomes more difficult than usual. But I do feel that there's a reward for that. Like, it doesn't go unseen. Even if you make the same amount or something, it doesn't go unseen, and there's something that really comes back to you from it. But it is a working month for Leos. I will say that. In fact, you might even feel that like this time of social distancing doesn't really apply to you or something, to some degree. Maybe you're not that affected by it compared to other people, or maybe you are still working. Like myself, I'm very blessed because I've not had my livelihood threatened, but at the same time, I don't get the same opportunity that other people are getting to really just completely go within, which can also be really difficult in its own way. But I'm a Leo rising, and that's sort of been how it's been for me. This is not really that different for me, but at the same time, it's substantially different, but it's not really registering in the same way. So there's something about Leo energy that is quite rigid, I will say. It's not really affected, maybe, or it's not really curbing to some of these limitations that are being imposed. So in a way, it is demanding that things have to stay the same, and it is demanding that, to be unaffected and to be above it in a way, which is natural for Leo. But it might be really interesting, Leo, to see it, or to cohabitate with people who are going through it in this way, or to change something about your own life in congruency with the social distancing and the quarantines. That could be really, really humbling in a way. And it's like, humbling is so good during a year like this, the rat year, Pluto, Saturn in Capricorn, Jupiter in Capricorn, Saturn moving to Aquarius but retrograding back. It's a great time to like be smaller than things, actually. So that's why Leo struggles in this year, and why Leo struggled especially last month, was because it's hard for Leo to be small. It's not a small energy. It's a very, high, mighty, bright, shining, glamorous energy. And that is a big, all the insects are drawn to that type of thing in a year like this. And then some of them fly into it and they die. And there's a lot of death that surrounds, and when I say death, I mean like the energy of endings that surrounds the bright, shining, glamorous energies right now. So if you have a lot of Leo placements, it's so great to just take things down a notch, actually, and so rewarding, because next year, and you see, everything works perfectly in astrology. Everything works with reason, because when everything goes into Aquarius next year, you'll have Jupiter in Aquarius, Saturn in Aquarius, and, in a few years, you'll have Pluto moving into Aquarius as well. a huge crowning time for a Leo, where you're bright shining and also pushing away the difficult, and it's like a lot. It is like, whoa, like huge energy for you. And you have to maybe have a time back or a notch down in order to prepare your livelihood to take on something like that. And this is that time. So ultimately, everything that we've talked about here is neither here nor there in this reading. It's just a simplistic down a notch energy for you. And I know that that can be discouraging for a Leo, but I might really ask you why, okay? I might really ask you why taking things down a notch, or why making a little bit less, or why, feeling like the plan changed or something got out of control, why that is so bad, because truly what the universe is working with us collectively on is how nice it is to not really be able to plan or predict things to a degree. So nice to really overcome that. And anyway, Leo, I think that the concluding point I will make for the reading would be find the nice like exhale point in taking things down a notch, and when you do it, you'll see, oh my God, this is what my body wanted for so long. And it's in those moments that your cells, like cells, your cells will turn over. You'll have new cell birth. You'll have like maybe a cleanse in your body, get rid of a lot of toxins, and you're already on the road to being more congruent with the type of vibration that you're meant for, which is, yes, highfalutin, high rising, leadership type of energy. So yeah, Leos, it's pretty incredible. And I will say some Leos are having a hard time if they're trying to get that right this second. But at the same time, there's a little bit for every Leo to a degree. Like, you guys aren't one of the signs nonetheless, which is interesting. You aren't one of the signs that is at wit's end. Okay. And there are some people. So yeah, great time to humbly be blessed in a way too, because it's not nice. And to put it into a different perspective, I usually don't say things like this, but it's harsh when you have someone whose modeling contract, let's just make a hypothetical, who's like $40,000 modeling contract fell through, and they've already had 5 of them this year. And they're more upset than the person who, has bills to pay 3 days from now with a negative bank balance. It's very harsh karmically. And usually I wouldn't say this because pain is not unilateral. It's not linear. So, for example, somebody, for the model who's lost their contract during this time despite being very wealthy, might feel even more pain than somebody who doesn't have any money at all, because pain is not unilateral. But nonetheless, there's a rigidity in the Capricorn energy still yet it's still harsh. It's harsh for those situations to exist nonetheless. So again, it's kind of like random, I know, but it's just food for thought for you, Leo. Great time to be grateful, to feel blessed, to start planning on, what you might want to do in the future as well. So thank you so much, Leos, for being here. I hope that you're doing well, and I hope that you continue doing well. Let's jump over to Patreon now for the extended reading. It should be popping up in the center of your screen, and it should be linked below. Also, thank you so much for your likes, comments, and subscribes. It makes my day. We'll be talking soon, Leos. Much love. Bye.